Tuperos y Tuperas! Today on DOOP by the River, we're going to talk about that fantastic performance at the Sub as the Union took it to the Portland Timbers. We have a 2-week break, so what else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the beginning part of the Union season. We're also going obviously, I'm wearing a different jersey. I don't know what to do with myself. I feel weird. We're going to talk about some of the international games that we have this weekend. And don't you dare go anywhere because you do not want to miss this episode of DOOP by the River. And let's get this started, guys. And done it! And that is right. Welcome, everyone, to DOOP by the River, the show where we follow everything Philadelphia Union, brought to you by Philly Sports Network. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning on in, whether it's from YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Seriously, thank you so much. This is your podcast for everything Philadelphia Union. Of course, let me introduce you guys. I'm doing my first host's name, and he kills me every week. But let me introduce him first. My man, Justin, a.k.a. Aurelian Colenhite, man, Freiberg. Man, Courtney's going to love this name. What's going on, Justin?
It's we're at a bit of a break, so I'm interested to talk some a smorgasbord of soccer, if you will, today with the Union, with U.S. M&T as they're playing right now against Honduras. So we got a lot to talk about today.
It's been since 2010 I've rooted for the U.S., man. It feels weird, but I'm here for it. I'm here. Listen, it's because I love you guys, and I'm here to support with you guys. So let's go U.S. For tonight. Let's go until 10 o'clock. So we'll get to that in a second. And, of course, my man, Mr. Tim Lummenguth, who, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, has absolutely been obliterating the writing game, as well as our next host as well. But, Tim, what's going on, buddy?
I'm excited, man. I mean, we got to see that Union win. Huge 3-0 win. We've been called for a multiple-goal win, especially against a good team. I know we beat Chicago Fire 2-0, but enough of these 1-0 wins. Dominate a team 3-0. We'll get into it. And then right now, U.S. men's national team is in a semifinal of a tournament, which they haven't played in since, 2019. So it's a little weird. It's a little weird, but we got two former Union players on the squad today. One starting, one on the bench. Let's do this.
And how can you not love it if you're a Union fan? Absolutely. How can you not love it? And, Tim, it doesn't matter who we play. You put up 3-0. Oh, you're excited. Let's go. Let's go. And, of course, last but not least, my man, Mr. Zach Lavasso. He's on. I guess, with Zach, he's like our homegrown. And he's up here, and he's playing like Brendan Aronson right now. Zach, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, I'm just hanging out. Uh-oh. Oh, my God.
Little trouble?
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Oh, we got him real quick. Gio Reyna. Oh, my God. Holy crap. I love this. It feels like hockey.
CONCACAF going to CONCACAF. That was it.
Albert Belize.
Better be a yellow for diving there.
Yeah, you really don't want to get in the face of John Brooks, man.
Yeah, John Brooks is about to kill him.
John Brooks is a large dude.
John Brooks about to kill a man.
What happened?
So goal line clearance, and then
Guy went for the ball and
he just clearly dove, and Gio Reyna went over to him to be like, yeah, get up.
Oh my God! Here we go. Here's a play.
Paraphrasing, but yes,
yeah.
I'm sure cleaner words were said.
So for our lovely people who listen to this podcast, we are in fact recording during the USA Honduras semifinal in the Nations League,
which will definitely make it more interesting.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you have no idea what's happening, welcome.
Whoa.
Look at Josh Sargent. Look at that work from Josh Sargent.
That was nice.
That's my number 9. That's my number 9.
He learned that in Werder. He learned that in Bremen.
He learned that at Bremen not to score, I guess. Even if
that's my number 9. That's my number 9.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah, so guys, as the night goes on, we'll obviously react to it. But we'll definitely talk about the actions going on the pitch. But yeah, we are watching along with the other U.S. fans and Honduran fans as we have as well. I'm sure we have some Honduran fans in our fan base here in Philadelphia. But yes, it's exciting so far. It has been getting a little chippy. But speaking of chippy, gentlemen, the Philadelphia Union played up against the Portland Timbers. Now, look, we all know in the history, our short history in the MLS, Portland's been one of those teams where we have been struggling against. I think I checked it over the weekend. It was the second win we've had in the 11 years that Portland's been around. So that's not very good. Obviously, the Union in most of its history struggled over in the West Coast, but it's always been like that. Man. Like, I don't know if it was like a mental block, but we always just struggle against West Coast teams. But Portland came into town. Obviously, we talked about in a preview. Shouts to our boy Kyle Pinnell. We talked about it. Portland coming in here with a lot of injuries, and it was definitely evident. But that doesn't mean you just you lay over and you allow Portland to take advantage of you. The Union right off the bat put the foot on the gas pedal, and they did not let up. 3 goals, all from set pieces. Fantastic performance all throughout the pitch. I really can't criticize anyone. And again, I know Portland wasn't putting out their best 11, but you still have a job to do. And again, when you have that mental block with West Coast teams like Portland, you love that win, especially now we have 2 weeks of no soccer. So today I want to start with my man, Zach. Zach, Sunday was a big one, man. Tell me what you thought of the performance by our boys in blue.
I mean, yeah, it was very impressive. And in my most recent article, we talked about, what was it, 5 things or 7 things or something 5 things that we learned from the Union's first 7 games. And one of them is that they just needed to score more goals. And they were definitely, the size advantage that they had over Portland was definitely something that clearly they talked about during the week and tried to take advantage of, and it worked. 3 goals on set pieces. And yeah, I think that they need to find other ways to score goals like set pieces, because they've been struggling, like Tim said, we had that 1-2 goal win, but then the rest of have been 1 goal games. And as great as it is to eke out 1 goal game wins, means you're defending very well and you're doing all the right things defensively. You rather be up by more than 1 goal for a majority of a game, so you're more comfortable and you can play the way you want to play, as opposed to getting that goal and then having to drop back and defend a lot because the other team starts pressing you. So I think them finding that ability to score on set pieces might in the future allow them to do that more, because they're more confident in it. They'll work on it more. And it'll just add to the goal scoring that they've been having, whether it be Casper or Montero or maybe Gazdag in the next couple weeks after the Euros. But yes, hopefully that set piece kind of extravaganza on against Portland translates to the rest of the season, and they can start scoring in more facets of the game than just open play and stuff like that.
Absolutely. What's crazy too, Zach, is I feel like over the past couple seasons we kind of struggled on set pieces, and this year we have like 5 goals on set pieces. I feel like, and
we're huge. We're huge. Like Elliott and Glesnes alone are big dudes. Then you also had Casper, who's got some size. Sergio's obviously a truck. There's a lot of targets in there, and I'm glad that they realized that they would have the height advantage over Portland, and they utilized the height that they had in order to score those goals on set pieces. Because I feel like in the past, at least myself, I'm sure you guys have too, have noticed things in games where they weren't scoring goals, or maybe we lost, and there were aspects of the game that we felt they could have taken advantage of, that we had talked about even prior to the game being played, that they hadn't really attacked. Like maybe the right back for a team was injured and they kept going down, or we kept going down our right side, as opposed to going after the injured or the backup right back for the other team, stuff like that. And I think that they definitely did a good job of prepping for this game and realizing that this was a way that they were going to win the game.
Absolutely. Tim, what you got for us, man? What'd you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the preview we talked a lot about the Union having to be direct against Portland, and I think a lot of us thought it would be, utilizing the speed of Sergio Santos and kind of, playing balls over the top or out wide to create some space, create some chances. But going direct from free kicks also helps, getting those tall bodies into positions where they can create mismatches. I mean, obviously on the first goal, if you don't mark Kasper Shabilko and give him a free header, more often than not, he's going to put it on frame. And if it's past the goalie, it's a goal. So that was a good one there. What was the other goals there? They're both corners, right? I'm trying to remember. It's been so long.
Yeah. So the second one I believe was it
Was a
Casper
corner.
had a little hit on it, and then Sergio.
Oh yeah. The deflections. Yeah, getting those second balls, winning those second balls. Yeah.
Third one was all Corey, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, usually when the Union work those types of corners, you see them looking for Ali Bedoya running near post to flick on to someone. But that in that moment, it was a little bit further, and Casper was on the penalty spot. And in all honesty, he was probably trying to head it on goal, missed it a little bit. But Sergio Santos, got the better of his defender. He kind of like bullied him. The defender was nowhere near Sergio, and he just rocketed that shot home for that second one. Obviously, I was really hoping that Leon Flock goal would stand, but it did not. They said he handled the ball, which I'm still not clear about. It didn't really look like it to me.
It's even unintentional. You can't a hand can't.
Oh, that's the new handball rule, right?
The thing,
which is a fair interpretation.
Yeah,
if
for
it's
sure.
called all the time, it's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. The thing for me on that goal especially was like it was so. Like I still like wasn't sure if it hit his hand or not. Like I wasn't sure if it like had hit like this part of his body here or if it had hit the arm. And it was like so inconclusive that I was like I could see them like actually giving this as a goal. They obviously went they thought it was a handball, which like very well could have been. It just sucked that was the only angle we really saw was like that one forward facing angle and not like maybe a side view that was closer or something. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it would have been nice for Flock to get on the score sheet, but I mean, 3-0 win's a 3-0 win.
Justin, this is interesting here. How do you not call up the best goal scorer in North America?
I mean, when the other striker is Robert Lewandowski.
Oh, no, I'm kidding.
It's kind of
that is a tough one. That is certainly a tough nut to crack.
My insane fanaticism only goes to some unreasonable levels.
Tommy. What's up, Tom?
Yeah.
Justin, break that. Oh, sorry, Tim, go finish.
That third goal then was just all Corey Burke. I mean, you let him run free, and then he hustled, didn't get good contact on the header, but followed it up, and then was shooting, but it didn't have anything on it. So, ejaculate with what's happened. And yes, AK Gaming, Lewandowski does have 0 goals in MLS, and that is why Casper should be with
the starting striker for Poland.
Yeah, we gotta write an article on that. We'll put it up tomorrow.
Why Casper should be the starting striker for Poland, and the only thing is Casper has this many goals in the MLS. Lewandowski doesn't even have a minute played in the MLS. What does that tell you?
Boom, posted. It's done. It's up.
I love it, man. Yeah, no, but on that third goal, Corey, he comes in flying into the box, and he like lays the head in there. Then he had the second opportunity, but it was a great save, and luckily Elliott was there at the right place at the right time. Yeah. All right, the hype man. What's going on? How'd you feel about Sunday?
It was interesting. I think, as we said in the preview, Tim, unfortunately, Darren Espria did not have a wonder goal.
He didn't.
It didn't. In fact, he barely made a.
Yeah, he came on as a sub.
Much of an impact. I think the thing that we talked about in the pregame was the ability for the Union to stretch the back line, and Kyle mentioned it that if they could get after Bravo, and stretch Tuiloma and that back line, you really could get some good chances, and that was the case. I mean, all 3 goals came on set pieces, which I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to go a little nerdy here, but in D&D terms, I think Casper rolled a natural 20 on his stealth check, because how do you not cover a man that big on a corner kick or on a free kick or a quarter kick? Like both first and second goal. First goal, I'm sorry, he literally. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it going, like, as the ball's going, I'm like, Casper is like wide open, and I'm like. And it was just like, wow, that's a gimme if I've ever seen it. And then I don't know what the marking was. I believe it was a Bobasi was trying to mark it. and he lost Casper. Casper just flicks that on, and Sergio gets in the way, which congratulations, Sergio. We saw the celebration. We obviously expected, so congratulations to the Santos family.
Nice.
But and then that third goal, I mean, my Lord, Corey comes flying out of nowhere. Like, that was a wicked header. Great save. And then I thought he was going to launch himself, so I thought he was going to be, prone. No, he gets the header and then fires it back on net. And I think Jack was there to make sure that ball went in because the defender was right there. So I think that was made sense. But they had plenty of other chances. Don't get me wrong. And I think, Portland did what they could, although I gotta say, Diego Valeri, my Lord, I respect the man, but he was complaining a lot. Like, it was a bit much. I'm just gonna say, I respect the man, but it was
se puede ganar Argentina.
It's that, and then also the fact that his team is a bunch of guys thrown together. It's the last game before a longer break, and they're on the road after 2 wins that they had no business getting. So he was he was probably hoping for a dirtier, clunkier type of game where he could get under the ref's skin and start to get some more chances for his team that way.
But honestly, that game was exactly what the Union needed right before the break.
Yes.
I mean, I think you really could not have scripted that any better with, again, set pieces being the thing that the Union have kind of struggled on over the years. And I think it's good to see them. I mean, you have all that size. And again, I know I joke about Casper being the best striker in CONCACAF, but right now he's probably one of the most informed strikers right now, going back the last, month? I mean, basically, I think CCL kind of helped get him really going. And I think you started to see him put in the league goals. He was putting in the goals in CONCACAF. I just think it felt like once he opened the MLS, floodgates, it felt like he would start to, and he's been playing really well. And that's what I love about him is he's not afraid to attack the ball. And that was the biggest thing on those set pieces was he was attacking that ball. I mean, again, on an open header, he looks and sees that, the goalie, all he has to do is just kind of put a little on it and float it. And he got a piece of it. And then another one, he literally just flicks it on. And at that point, that's all you could ask him to do is just flick that on and hope a Union player gets on the end of it. So all in all, I think that was the exact kind of performance that you needed from this team going into the break. I mean, right now you're in, you are battling now. It's still for the top spot. You're at 7 games right now. You're still under like a third of the season, but you're playing well. You're finally starting to get round form after Champions League. I think you kind of saw once they kind of had a break from Champions League, they started to really get into that form and show why they're making a run in Champions League. But this was exactly the kind of game that the Union needed.
Justin, do we have 2 debuts at Subaru Park? Do we have Tom? Tom was there. I heard he was in Chester.
Tommy was there. He was at the Suns tailgate with us. Yes, he was.
Oh man, I wish I was there, man. I hope he's as nice as he is in person as he is on social media, man. Because he is.
Oh, he is an absolutely nice dude.
We don't deserve
we've interacted so much, on these Zoom calls over the past year, but
right
in person, Tommy. Honest was exactly the one of the nicest people that I've genuinely had.
Heart of blue and gold, Justin. Heart of blue and gold. I mean,
exactly.
And baby Aronson, Paxton saw the pitch.
Yeah, that was a fun moment.
I know.
Bullying works, man.
Yeah.
Says every Philly sports fan. I'm just kidding. No, but Paxton, what did he get? Like was it like 10 minutes, 5 minutes at that?
It would have been 10 minutes at that point. It was at least 5 minutes in game time when he didn't come in, and
Yeah,
I was part of it. We were screaming from the river end.
He
Just
came
kick
on-
the ball out.
he came on in the 89th minute.
Yep. He came in for Leon Fleck.
Mhm.
But, 10 minutes or 11 minutes, whatever we want to call it. But regardless, it's cool seeing him out there. Like, he's been so hyped up from everyone. And just being able to see Paxton out there, it's like, man, what it could happen. Right back at you, Tom.
The movement off the ball for him is the same. He has that sort of like that Brendan Aronson arm that I want to call it, where he like throws it up, where he's like trying to like get positioning on people.
Don't get me excited, Tim. Don't get me excited.
He looks exactly. I mean, he looks like him, but we didn't get to see him on the ball too much. He had like one opportunity where he was kind of dancing on the ball around the 18, and he kind of dribbled into a defender. He probably could have made a better pass, but it's his debut. He wanted to try something, so.
Very nice, very nice. Yes. So you didn't get a big 3 points before the break here, and so we're gonna have 2 weeks of no soccer. I know we'll have soccer, but it won't be union soccer.
Yeah.
But when we get back to it, we'll be back on June 20th, and ladies and gentlemen, don't look now, but we got to face off against Atlanta again. We're gonna have to go down to the Bends. We know they don't really like us down there, so I'm really
Johnny, I couldn't imagine why.
And after what the Sixers are about to do to the Hawks, they really are not going to like us. But
that is very true.
Yes,
that's another story here. But guys, I kind of wanted to, because obviously we have time to kind of like evaluate this team where it's at right now. We've only played 8 matches. They are in second place. They do have 14 points. Give credit to New England. They've definitely taken advantage of the early part of this season. But for the Union, we know they started off slow. Obviously, Champions League is very grueling. The Union, obviously, you do want to prioritize that. But since they moved on to the semifinals, that second leg against Atlanta, they've kind of they caught up a little bit. And they made some points. Tim alluded to the goal scoring that they did, like 3 goals that we haven't seen it this year. This year, goals haven't really come at a premium. There was a lot of 1 goal. I think we had 1-2 goal, like Tim said. At one point, we had 6 goals in 7 matches. Like really, we're not accustomed to that with today's Union soccer. Maybe back in 2014, but not this Union soccer team. But this is still, to me, as I predicted. I said the Union would be around 3rd or 4th in the East. It's still a really good team here. And just the way this team is built, it has depth. The forward position, I still want to see more. I've seen good stuff from Casper. Sergio's been a little quieter than what I saw last year, but that's okay. He's also had to deal with injury. And Corey, we have Corey for a full season, so hopefully for a full season, knock on wood, barring any injuries, right? But this is going to be a tough Eastern Conference. Orlando City's still good. NYCFC, they've caught up. Don't look now. Yes, they have caught up. Now they're in 4th place. Nashville, Columbus are still really tough. Don't count out Atlanta. So it's definitely going to be
still
tough.
sucks.
Yeah.
That we do know. That we do know. Justin, I'll let you start off with this one, man. Kind of just tell me what your thoughts on the Union in the first part of the season up until this international break. What have you seen from them? What have you liked?
I mean, I said it before, but I knew it was going to be a slog depending on how far the Union made it in Champions League until there was a break. Now, did I picture they'd be in the semifinals? No, which I'm ecstatic about. But I knew it was going to be a slog to start the season, and it was. It wasn't pretty by any stretch of the imagination, but it never felt like the Union were out of it. It was just kind of crappy luck, considering how well they were doing in Champions League. And yeah, the offense has been a little slow for a couple of games. The defense has been one thing I have not been worried about. The defense has played great. I mean, Jack and Glasnes is actually a better combo than most people would have given them credit for, because Glasnes is that enforcer center back. He's the guy that's going to generate a lot of the team fouls, a lot of the standing the guys up, challenging, making it physical presence. While Jack is definitely more concerned with playing that Mark McKenzie role of making the creating great chances from great passes, and also cleaning up a lot of the stuff from the back line. And I think that's what Jack does well, is he can really bring that ball up, and he has pretty good passing range. And then when you have Kai and Olivier playing the way they are up down the wings, you kind of have to keep teams on it. And so the defense has been great. The midfield, I mean, at this point, you have so many options, but having Leon, which I'll say the signing of the offseason, Leon Falk has been indispensable to this team by far, and a potential candidate for the Gold Cup roster, according to Jim. And El Brujo also getting a Venezuelan national team call up, playing other than the red card.
Tonight.
Yeah, other than the red card. Oh wait, they actually allowed him on the field. I know it's
he got into their friendly. I think for about 15 minutes or so. I thought I saw
it. I mean, other than the red card, I think he's had obviously a good season. I think, but Ali is Ali. I mean, I think with all the options you have now, you don't have to worry about he can just kind of do what he does best, but which is really bring that ball up the field and do those 1-2s with Olivier and the strikers, and kind of be that late run around the box, which is what he excels at. Is being that number 8 or being that shuttler and kind of just creating havoc with that late run. And now, I mean, you've had kind of a rotation with your number 10. I mean, Jamiro and Fontana have kind of flip-flopped, obviously with Gazday coming in. I do wonder if that moves Jamiro to the bench. I think, unfortunately, it does. But you have not really had to worry about the midfield. Now, the offense, obviously, with your forwards, Casper was going in CCL. He's finally getting going in the league, which is great. And what I said that I knew it was a matter of time before he would hit the ground running in the league, and he really has started to. Sergio's had those injury problems, but his main thing is creating that havoc on the back line, and getting the goals is the added benefit, but he really is there just to stretch that back line and create all sorts of havoc. And yeah, having Corey for a full season is great, because having him as that another other option, him and Sergio kind of play similarly, except he does have a little more Casper tendencies where he does like to drop back, but he can also stretch the field, and it's it's genuinely wild. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by. I said this pregame. Oguchi and Yehu has hair.
Yeah,
that is really distracting me, because I've not seen that man with hair in a very, very long time.
It's 3 former Union players doing some TV stuff now.
Yeah,
exactly. So I think it's definitely interesting, and goes to show that the way this team is, that it was a matter of time before they really would get going. And I think overall, this is exactly what this team needed, was just to be able to get the pieces together and start to set things up and really start to gel. And again, the defense was going to be there the whole time. It's just obviously getting the offense going. And I really do hope that this Portland game was a start of something better with this offense.
I'm just sorry. John. They're like, I don't know why you would want to test John Brooks. I'm sorry. I'm just like,
not a man I'd want to mess with.
I know, and like Honduras is like asking for, and John Brooks is just like, all right.
I'm just gonna stand here, and you're gonna fall down. Like, I don't know what.
I honestly love, though, that it's Oguchi Onyewu who's talking about John Brooks. It's kind of that passing of the torch, right now for USA center backs, and I'm all here for that.
This is our childhood. Like,
oh, there he is,
Clint, and
the stare down. That is what Gooch is.
Oh, Jared Borghetti. Oh my god! I remember that,
man.
That's what I grew up.
Wait, you said you thought he didn't have hair? Oh man, no,
it's been a long time since he.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
trust me, I remember those.
I mean,
that stare down was what I remember as a kid.
When Gooch was on the Union, he didn't have hair, so
he did not. He was a bald.
He didn't have hair for a while. Like I said, it had been a while.
What about when he was on Milan?
I think that's why he started shaving. He started shaving it for a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tim, let me hear what your thoughts are on the Union.
Yeah.
Part
part one, I want to talk more about the midfield, and props to MLS for putting this up. But they put out an article on all of the MLS teams of like something to kind of take away at this little break here. And their one thing that they put there for the Union was that they had 162 tackles attempted by their midfielders, by their central midfielders. So
wow.
And then like that's that in and of its own is crazy. Like the midfield is helping out on defense, and for me before the season, the midfield was the biggest question mark. Losing Brendan, we knew the attack would be a little bit different, but at that same time, you needed someone to kind of come in and secure the shuttler position, and who's it going to be, like who's going to get in there and really take that spot. And it's been Leon Flock. And he's even stepped in at the 6th, and he's been fantastic. MLS Gone Wild on Twitter broke down some of those tackle stats a little bit deeper, and the Union have 75 successful tackles and 180 ball recoveries from their midfielders. That is wild. That's crazy. Like Flock is leading the way with some of that, along with Jamiro and Bedoya, and then El Brujo is actually kind of last on that list in terms of successful tackles and recoveries.
Because they're all fouls. That's because they're all fouls.
Honestly, he's lagging behind kind of significantly when you look at the number breakdowns. It's kind of bad, and that kind of leads me to looking at the future. We have Daniel Gazdag coming in. He is the 10. You have Jamiro Montero, who is better as an 8. You have Leon Flock, who has shown he's a very good defensive midfielder.
This is what I like to hear, Tim. This is what I like to hear, Tim.
To me, that means that El Brujo is going to be, might not start right away, or he might not be a 90-minute player, as we saw Jim took him off in some games when he was making some crazy tackles, especially after the red card against NYC. So if he doesn't kind of get more disciplined and start winning his tackles, start recovering better, Leon Flock is proving he can play that position as well as, if not better, than El Brujo played last year. So it's going to be a competition, I think, more at the 6 than it is in a shuttler midfield spot as 8s, because Gazdag's coming in, and when he does, he's that 10. So one of these 4 midfielders who have been playing out of their minds good for the Union this year, especially defensively, is going to have to drop out. So, it's a lot of questions to be asked of Jim Curtin and the coaching staff here moving forward, but that's my one takeaway is that this midfield has been flying. It was my biggest question before the season. They played well enough to get the Union to second place 8 games in. I know it's only 8 games in, but when you have a break this early in the season, it's really important to be up and high in those standings, especially now you're going to have 3 weeks to recover, or if you're international duty, you're out playing with your national team. So it's a good start for the Union for sure.
No, you brought up like the key part. And when you talk about the system, midfield is so important on both sides of the pitch.
Yeah.
And you got 4 really strong. He didn't even bring up Alejandro Bedoya, our captain.
He doesn't need to be spoken about. He doesn't need to be spoken about.
You know what you're getting from Bedoya. That's why I never really mentioned him. You can't take him out. He's the captain, and he's leading, or he's in the middle of the pack in terms of those successful tackles and ball recoveries. But you're going to get the work rate from him no matter what.
Between both your shuttlers and that 6, that tenacity and keeping that midfield tight and making it a living hell for the opposing team. And of course, I'm excited for Gazdag. When he gets back from Euros and he gets comfortable and he gets in his place, I'm so excited what he can give us. So that's a very good point. And the depth. And we still have Fontana here too.
Depth is very important.
It's absolutely wild. Zach, what did you take away from the first part of this season?
So I'm looking at my my article right now that I posted. And it's funny, the second thing I wrote about was how good Flock's been and that Martinez doesn't need to play as often. And that was before I even knew about these tackle stats. So I feel a little vindicated in my claim. I wrote about Gazdag and how he'll fit in, and I think Tim's right. He'll play that 10, I think, and it'll move Montero back and Flock back one. But I could also see him playing up top as like a false 9 type thing. I could definitely see Jim trying something out like that. I don't know if it'll be permanent. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how often that happens. But he's shown in Hungary that he's very capable of scoring goals and assisting. He had 26 goal contributions in 35 games last year.
Yes, please.
Which is unbelievable. It's something that we haven't had in Philly for a long time. And something that we do definitely need. We need that guy who can be a double-digit goal guy who is also getting assists. I also talked about how important it was that we're getting service from both outside backs this year as opposed to really just Wagner and not Gaddis last year. Because it allows the Union to be a lot more unpredictable in their attack, and teams can't just be like, Ray's not going to attack us, so we can kind of just leave that side be and not really worry about it. Whereas this year, Bizo's bombing forward, Wagner's obviously bombing forward, and we're hard to prep for from other teams in that, like, we can attack from both sides, getting balls served in, whether it's inverted outside backs, however Jim wants to play it. There's a lot of options in the way that they can play now that right back is an attacking right back as opposed to more of just a defensive guy.
That's a really good point.
And then, like Justin said, the defense has been unbelievably good, even without Mark. They've stepped up. They've just been very shut down. Besides, like, the first 3 games, obviously there was a bit, but CCL comes into play, and they were, focused on that. But yeah, they definitely are proving that they should be the starters. Hopefully injury free for the majority of the season. They've been good with it so far, but if something happens, we still also have Stuart Finley on the bench, which is a great center back to have, a guy who's played in Europa League qualifiers before, a guy who has experience, and a guy who brings a little more pace to the back line in the center of it than the other 2 guys. So it would be a different dynamic with him in there. But I think that's a very important thing. And then the last thing I really wrote about was that we needed more goals. But, hey, we scored 3 against Portland. So, and this article came out before the Portland game. So, it's just as long as they can keep scoring multiple goals a game, I'm cool with the 1-0 win every now and again. It's part of the game. But I'd prefer them to not have to win every game 1-0 and to, cruise through some games more comfortably, getting like 2 first-half goals and then maybe a second-half goal or something like that. Because as a fan, it just, makes my heart easier when I watch the game. But also just as like a guy who watches the game and has been around the game for so long, you win games when you score goals. Like that's kind of how it is. And you're at your best when you have a guy like hopefully Gazdag can be, who can put up double-digit goals while also getting assists. It's going to be an exciting couple months following the international break and stuff, to see how important Gazdag becomes to the attack. He's going to be important, but how, influential he becomes in terms of the goals being scored, whether it's by him or from him assisting or just him creating good off-the-ball runs and stuff like that. So it's gonna be exciting.
Wait, Zach, over under. I'm gonna go 4 chip goals.
I'm all right. I'm taking the under. I'm taking 4 chip goals is a lot. I'm taking the under. How many games? Wait, how many games do they have? So what do they play?
34.
So they have 27 or 26 games left. That's like a chip goal every 6-ish games.
I think that's a feasible.
It's definitely feasible. I just don't know if I could take the over. I'm going to take the under. I'll take the under on that one.
Okay. All good points. Also, too, can we make Andre's job a lot easier in this next part?
Andre's been so good.
He's
been Andre. He's been Andre.
When you have a goalie, a 2-time goalie of the year, a guy who you forget is only I know I'm saying only, but he's 6'2", but he plays like he's 6'8", 6'9". The man, as they say, as Liam would say, Tim, you said a salmon leaping out of water. That is Andre. The man gets
False,
up.
man.
I mean, you saw on that free kick, he was already there, and he palmed that, catches that, and you're like, what goalie is already there and makes that look like as simple as can be? And I love going back on the highlights, and I love John Strong because he's trying to make that more dramatic, and he goes, that's an easy save from Andre after being he goes and Stewart basically goes, wow, a lot of build up for it's like, well, when you have a goalie like Andre, he makes the everything look mundane even when it's just jaw-droppingly unreal. I mean, I know we've said it so many times, and I've been of it. You don't want to rely on Andre, but man, isn't it nice having that good of a goalie? Even if you have your worst game and you scrap out these 1-0 wins, the other might go, "Oh, we deserved it." It's like, well,
you're right. You did. You're right. You probably did deserve it, but
like you probably did. But our goalie made sure that you didn't get the result you think you deserved.
Exactly. It's funny that you mentioned his height too, because for those of you who don't know, EA Sports just released the MLS Team of the Season, and Andre Blake and Kai Wagner were part of that. And FIFA has Andre Blake listed at 6'4", and I was like, "There's no way he's 6'4".
Yeah,
like there's no way that guy's.
I had to look at him like he's 6'2". I'm like,
I was like, "There's no way, no way that man's 6'4". So I just thought that was funny that you brought up his height, because I was looking at that yesterday, and I was like, are you sure?
Well, the Philly Sports Guy and I have a great joke that Andre Blake is the best wide receiver in Philadelphia.
He is.
He could be a deep threat. He'd be that.
Oh yeah.
He'd be that Calvin Johnson jump ball guy because he goes up for those balls and
absolutely.
All those corners and free kicks that come down, he pulls that in, and I'm like,
now I'm curious how fast he is, because obviously when you're goalie, it's different.
I don't know if. I don't know if he, but as a goalie, that's tough to say. I don't know if a goalie, you have to be, you have to be agile to get off your line. And so he's got agility, but agility and speed are not necessarily they can be, they're mutually exclusive. I could say, like, it doesn't have to be one and the same.
Well, this might be good content for Zach's Twitch channel. Andre Blake, a wide receiver for a career. What would he do?
I was just saying, create. You do a live
maybe I will. Maybe I will. When Madden 22 comes out, maybe I'll do it.
I love
Put him on the Eagles and see what's going on.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I love it. Obviously, we're all having a lot of fun. But it's funny when I talk to even casual Union fans or like the Philly sports fan that are like keeping an eye on the Union. The one thing they always tell me that they're just ready for the semifinals of Champions League.
Absolutely.
And I know for us, like, we're, heavily invested in this team, and, we're with this team every single week. But for like the casual fan, they're just looking ahead.
Wait, Johnny, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that for me one time?
Where are we? What game are we playing in?
Yeah, what the what of
semifinals of the CONCACAF Champions League against the Club America.
Oh,
thank you very much.
Oh God,
I'm excited.
Just that every time I hear that, it sends a chill down my spine in the best way. Like I just can't believe that we could be 2 games away from the final.
And wouldn't that be crazy? A finals in Philadelphia? Oh man. Oh boy.
Jesus.
Yeah, y'all are screwed here. 2-1.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Delco,
dude,
baby.
Zach Steffen, man.
Let's go.
But I think
Steffen, man.
Let's go. Oh, that was nice. That was good. All right. Without further ado, we're going to go to the guest line here, guys. We're going to bring on a guest here, and let's bring on AK Gaming, a really, a great supporter to the podcast. So seriously, thank you so much, AK Gaming. But how are you doing tonight, my man?
I'm doing pretty good. What about you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. We honestly, we like your background. You're very spurred up.
He might be getting even happier soon if they sign Antonio Conte. Man.
I was going to ask
Spurs and a Chicago Fire fan. You are a self-masochist.
Pain. Just pain. Only pain.
Only pain. I mean, God, that sets you up in life. If you can deal with that kind of pain.
Well, AK Game, I guess we got to start off. What are your thoughts on the rumors of Conte going to Tottenham?
It's probably gonna happen.
You think so?
I think it's gonna happen.
I heard he was on a plane coming to London. So It might be confirmed soon.
So one of you guys, what
probably.
happened at Inter? Why did he?
They didn't want him to spend. They wouldn't let him spend money.
Basically, because they're that's one of the reasons why they wanted to join the Super League was they were in some financial straits. So
Yeah.
like because the ownership group owns like one of the teams. I think they own one of the Chinese Super League teams. They own actually went defunct.
I like this.
Literally right after they won the league, which was a unfortunate thing. But yeah, no, they needed money, and Conte was like, "They just won the league. I want more money to spend."
He's like, "I want to go try and win a Champions League now," and they're like, "Yeah, no." And he was like, "Okay, I'm out."
Unfortunately, and it's so unfortunate because a league like Serie A with so much history between like the top 5-6 teams, and it's just now in today's soccer, these guys can't compete because of the money. And you look at these youth academies too. You think like, okay, why don't you build it like Bundesliga? But it's like I feel like other than Roma, Juventus, and other than that, I feel like no one has like a really good. Oh, Sassuolo has been really the one that's come out of nowhere, not Atalanta.
Atalanta's been a
Yeah.
perennial.
But
Yeah, with Papu Gomez before he went to Sevilla, but yeah, Papu was fantastic.
Yes, sir. But it's tough out there. You guys know me. I'm a big Napoli fan, and Aurelio De Laurentiis, he doesn't want to spend money either. And
yeah,
it's a tough reality there. But I guess for AK, you're winning there, man. Getting Conte.
Wait, did you say something about our ownership?
Yeah, of course.
Daniel Levy is not the most ideal owner.
Yeah,
I was going to say, yeah.
Now, do you think that so Kane obviously said that he kind of wants to leave. Do you think he wants to win a trophy? So that pretty much means if he wants to guarantee a trophy, he's either going to Madrid or he's going to City.
No,
one of the two.
He said he wants to stay in the Premier League. So
all right, he's going to City then.
I don't know. I could see Chelsea.
Now, do you think Conte gets Lukaku to come over with him to Spurs if he goes to Spurs, if Kane leaves? Because I think Lukaku and Son up top in like a 5-3-2 or a 3-5-2, however you want to play it, would be absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, I think Conte brought the three in the back to the Prem. He was like the first one to do it.
Yeah, with Chelsea.
Yeah, so it'll be kind of weird because we have Doherty and he's pretty trash.
He's not the best.
No,
he's not the best.
I think him going to Spurs was not the best move for him.
I like the brutal honesty there.
And Aurier is also not great.
Aurier is, as I joked with Kyle last week, he is literally good for one horrible reckless challenge in the box at least every other game.
But is he good attacking though? Not as I would think.
He's not as good at attacking as he is bad at defending, so it doesn't really equal out.
Oh man, look at Mark imposing on the Elite. I'm sorry, that was.
Let's go, Mark.
Remember me? Oh my God, Mark taking Alberta to.
Hey, that was nice.
That gave me PTSD. That gave me PTSD right there. I'm not gonna lie. That gave me PTSD of when Mark defended me back in the day, and I did not like it.
Yeah, show what Philly tough means.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy playing against that man.
Yeah, Aurier's probably gonna leave to like PSG because PSG or Real Madrid because they're both offering.
Why on earth would Real want him?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, they want anybody at this point.
Well, they had Hakimi and they let him go for some weird reason. Then Conte turned him into the best right wing back in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, he signed with he was at Dortmund. They couldn't agree, and that's when he went to Inter for money.
I guess I have to ask: will my Everton get relegated now?
No.
They'll just sit mid-table.
But that
you and
they were in first place for like a week.
Yeah, but hey, Johnny, you and my favorite one of my favorite people, Christian Polanco, can mire in mid-tableness.
Dude, it sucks, man.
Dude, not gonna lie, I actually was able to get up for that Liverpool game at the end of the Premier League season. I'm a Liverpool fan, and this season was rough. I did not enjoy it. Didn't enjoy that.
I would imagine not.
Crafting reality.
I couldn't get myself to watch games kind of later on in the season until the last weekend, and You know what?
Oh, we'll take a yellow card finally being produced.
But honestly, when I talk to soccer fans now, like I feel like a lot of our fans were kind of turned off by the Super League stuff, and it kind of like
Yeah.
tainted with the game as well.
It definitely,
Yeah.
it definitely makes it just. I mean, not that you could think rich people would ever
Care.
relate to anyone, but it definitely makes the gap. And the fact that people like Andres Agnelli and Florentino Perez, who were still so out of touch that they don't understand what they did was horrendously greedy and wrong on so many levels. And the fact that they're fighting to the end on this is just going to show how little little some people care about soccer.
Yeah, but it is nice that it really only lasted a day and that all the uprising worked.
Although technically, Jose Mourinho was the only Super League coach that was fired.
He's the only. Yep, yeah, absolutely.
By the time the Super League
And
went
I'm
to
sure
front,
he
was
will
the
take
only
that to.
coach
I'm
that
sure he will take that with pride.
And then he goes right to Roma. I still don't get that. But.
Weird signing for Roma.
I feel bad. I feel bad for Brian Reynolds. Then.
So shouts to our a good friend of the podcast, Gigio, who is president of Club Roma in Philadelphia.
Love Gigio, and look at me.
He's the best.
Hopefully Gigio is at the trash cleanup on Saturday, which Sons of Bench trash cleanup with your fave trash man.
Where at?
At the Sons of Ben lot at 10:45 to do some cleanups in Chester.
Cool.
Last time Gigio brought some of his pizza. Whew.
Oh,
Dude,
dude, that would have been nice by Josh.
Imagine.
He was leaning back on that one.
He's getting like pulled down.
You just gotta tap that in, right?
It's a little harder.
Easier said than done.
You know, on the kind of bicycle kick type thing. Yeah, it's not. It's
All
not.
right, bring on. Where's Brendan? This needs super sub moment.
Yeah.
Oh snap!
So who is DK's not on the bench, correct, or is he?
No, he was training with them, but he's not. I don't think he's not on the official roster.
Yeah, he's not on the Nations League roster.
Are you telling me that Josh is better than DK or whoever else?
Well, no,
Josh is better than DK, but
this was both provisional rosters. I think DK put a lot of games towards the end, and I think
he did.
And he's about to go back to Orlando City for right now.
I don't think he's going back for very long. I know,
but he's going to be there though.
Hopefully not, for our sake.
They have Sabaichu on the bench too.
Yeah,
I was gonna say who comes on for him, but
I was gonna say maybe Sibachu. I think Brendan comes on.
For Gio probably. Maybe Christian. Christian's played a lot. Christian's
played a lot, but you could also play him as kind of that false nine if you brought Brendan in to play on the wing.
Play Brendan for Gio and put Sibachu in for Sargent.
I would honestly, if I were Greg Berhalter, I think I'd take out at some point Josh Sargent, and then put Gio at the false nine, and just have the two speedy wingers running off of him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, AK Gaming, before we let you off, man, obviously you are a big Fire fan. What are your thoughts on them so far early on in the season, man?
The problem is they don't have a finisher. That's the problem.
It's hard to find.
Yeah, welcome.
To MLS, man. We're all trying to find those finishers.
Yeah, they know they're not like a team that they're like struggling to attack, or defending they're probably struggling, but attacking they know what to do, but they can't finish.
To me, they always seem like a team that kind of switches off in that crucial moment, whether it be in the attack and the defense. Like, as just someone who watches them from the outside, like from you as a fan, is that what you see from the team?
Yeah, just they like last game against Impact, they were attacking all game, and Montreal just one chance and they finished it.
Yeah,
it's just
they switch off in that crucial moment. Yeah,
sometimes it's all you need, right? Just that one opportunity, man.
Yeah.
AK Gaming, man, seriously, thank you for just the support you always give us, man. Always coming on in, commenting. We love your comments. We always get a little giggle. So seriously, thank you so much, and don't be a stranger, all right, my man?
But hey, Elliot Collier is not coming here to the amount of times you want to pass that play him off. I've seen enough of him over the league.
You know who pays a lot of money for players that they don't need? FC Cincinnati. So go find a Cincinnati fan.
I was just saying, just have them
push,
throw
just push
$5-6 million at him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the weird part about Collier is he's an international player. He plays for New Zealand.
Oh man,
I
that's
don't know.
rough. That's a valuable spot on the roster. Yeah, you can ask Ernst Tanner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, AK Gaming. Seriously, thank you so much. We'll talk soon. All right, my man.
All right. See ya.
Thank you.
See ya.
Awesome stuff.
I'm gonna claim now Dest is my favorite player on the team, and I think he rivals Pulisic as the best player on the team.
I mean, definitely one of the players with the most swagger. I'll
He
tell you
is
that much.
so
Outside back
classic,
should
dude.
literally not have that much swagger.
He elasticos way too much for an outside back. Oh, go on. Oh, what a tackle!
Damn.
All right,
Absolutely
work Josh. Corner. Throw it.
Damn.
I can't take pens. If this goes to pens, I'll cry. Just so you
I
guys know.
forgot because it's a semifinal. Like it actually goes to that.
If this goes to pens, I will I can't handle it.
I'm
I
not
was
ready.
nervous. I was nervous for Europa League. I didn't care who won. If this game, there's no. Oh God, no! I can't even think about it.
AK Gaming, you don't say this. You don't say these words.
They're
Stop
not
it.
gonna
Don't-
bottle it, man.
Don't bring that bad juju.
They're
No.
not gonna bottle it.
This
Don't
is that
worry.
next wave. They need to figure it out right here in this next 30 minutes.
And it's
Figure
just.
it out.
I think it's just gonna come down like I think in the World Cup, they're gonna underachieve. I think they're gonna get out of the group, but I don't think they're gonna make it to the quarterfinal, which I think would be a good showing for them.
Yeah.
And I think it's Greg. Greg's not the guy to like bring this team trophies. I think they need to find that guy who's gonna bring the team trophies. And I don't know when that's gonna happen, but
It's Jim Curtin.
it could be.
It's
It
Jim
could
Curtin.
be.
That would be amazing.
It's Jim Curtin.
Jimmy.
I would love it. Oh man, do you imagine the pressing styles that they would have on this field right now? They've been doing
Would
it.
they play that? Would
To
they
their
play
credit.
that?
To their credit, the U.S. has shown a few instances of actually pressing high against this Honduras team that really likes to sit back and counter through release. So
Are we not
they're already
gonna
kind of
get
doing.
that,
Oh man, that's my fever dream is Jim Curtin coaching the U.S. men's national team and imposing that high press system that he's running right now.
I had
Why
a pipe dream of Pep being done with club soccer and being like, this team's super talented. Let me go,
Yeah,
let's see what we
but
can do.
the difference with like good club coaches and good, international coaches is that like you can't just be like, oh, I want to buy that guy
That's very
Yeah.
true.
who plays for Portugal. Like,
Yeah.
like that's not how it works with
Hey, man.
international soccer.
They'll find a way. Pep will find a way. Pep will be like, no. He was in the U.S. for 4 weeks when he was 8. That makes him American. He
Which
can play for us.
literally that is how Yunus
Oh.
Musa is a U.S. eligible player because he was born in the United States. Not from here, never spent much time here. Because he was born in New York City, he is a U.S. eligible player.
Yep.
Who's this? You're saying?
Yunus Musa.
Oh, okay. Got you.
He should come on too. Speaking of,
He'll come on for legit.
yeah,
I was gonna say, yeah, that's
legit.
He
All
needs
right,
a-
so-
a guy. I think he's not. I was gonna say, is he too legit to quit?
you had to find a way, didn't you?
I
You
had to. I
find
had
a way
to.
say this.
Yeah, had to do it. But all right, guys. Listen. I said, how many puns could I go through? It's at least 2 or 3 at the moment.
If you guys are just tuning in, Justin's dad joke meter is going a little too high right now. So
It's over
You
9.
need you need to simmer down, Justin. All right.
Yeah.
Nope. Never gonna happen. Zach, if you're gonna do that, you don't know my role on this podcast. Tim is delirious optimism about the team, and mine is just to make the most ridiculous takes and all kinds of bad jokes.
and I'm here to look like an idiot. So we
I
have
guess
a
I'm
great,
I guess I'm the pessimist then.
Exactly. We
You're-
all
you're
have
the
our
homegrown.
roles.
You're the
figure it
home.
out. You are because you got some great tidbits, and that's the thing. Like it's a great dynamic. We got
Let's say
here.
realist. I'm
I'll
not
take
gonna
it.
say pessimist. I'll say realist.
There
There
you
you
go. There you go. I love it. Well, yeah, guys. So obviously, we are off because we have international matches being played. Obviously, we are currently watching U.S. and Honduras as we are recording this podcast. It is still 0-0. We are in the 66th minute. This is a good game, honestly. Every time it's funny because every time I see the U.S. play in CONCACAF, it's kind of like that whole it's like the teams that the Central American, Mexico, Caribbean teams, they always play like a chip on the shoulder. They want a piece of America, right? And I love it. I always see it on the pitch when they play them, and you're seeing it here today. Honduras just wants a piece of the U.S. and they're being really chippy. It's pretty entertaining. But the U.S., in my opinion, goals coming soon from them. They're obviously playing like the better team, and of course, Mr. Mark McKenzie's out there starting. So I'm all giddy up
and
here.
balling out. You
Balling
know,
out.
so interesting.
Although I did have an Atlanta fan who asked me, and he goes, "Oh, I might be biased, but why is Mark here over Miles Robinson?" And I'm like, He's like, "I don't see what it is with McKenzie." I'm like, then what do you see with Miles? I'm like,
I hate Atlanta fans. I'm sorry if you're an Atlanta fan. I don't like you.
They really made themselves look bad this year.
I mean, it's not like like no team in the world does any kind of shithousery.
Man, you know what? And we get hopefully only 4 games of Atlanta Sixers, Hawks and Sixers, but
I think it'll be 5.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what the best part is the Hawks are good, and I see all these Hawks fans coming out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, people care about the Hawks in Atlanta? I thought that was Atlanta United only.
Yeah, dude, Trae Young is good, but I can't stand him. Can't stand him at all.
He's so good.
Zach, did you have a point on the match there? I wanted to hear that.
I was just gonna say it's so interesting with international soccer, regardless of which teams are playing, because even when teams dominate, like both teams are always in it for some reason. Whereas like when we watch club soccer, if you see like Man City go play, I don't know, Brighton, and they put 5, like when they dominate, they put 5 past them. But when a team internationally dominates, it's almost always a close game. Like we saw it in the Euros. Now Iceland had like a crazy run in that, but Iceland wasn't a good team. Like they just knew how to win games, and teams would come in and dominate them, and they would just score on counters and set pieces and stuff. So it's a very different dynamic from what we get with club soccer. It's very interesting.
What kind of free kick was that?
A bad one, Justin. A bad one. Someone go press him. Go out to him.
Yeah, for real.
So obviously I don't watch a lot of U.S. soccer, but do these guys usually have a problem in the final third?
I think Honduras is definitely stacking people behind the ball and counterattacking. Okay. So I don't think you have the creativity, just not there's not a lot of 1-2. It's a lot of individual stuff, which kind of frustrates me that there's not a lot of more combination play.
I also don't see Christian getting super involved up the field. Like he's dropping in to get the ball, but he's not really. Go on, drive. Gio,
as we speak.
Gio's getting
Gio is getting beat up.
He's getting in the CONCACAF. He hasn't played many games in CONCACAF.
Right. Are you guys okay? He's not playing Gold Cup, right? Is that what I heard?
Probably not.
Oh, dude.
Well, Gold Cup is weird where it's close to get it's close. I think it overlaps.
It's going to be mainly an MLS squad
because of the season.
Oh my God, Weston!
Damn,
he was there.
So
I love Weston.
Leon Flack?
By the way, I love Weston. He is so underrated, and he's everywhere always. Like he was one of UVA's best players this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was actually.
I remember when that transfer happened, and I was like, I don't know if he's going to really ever play there.
Dude,
and he's a starter. He's scoring huge goals. Cristiano Ronaldo is running over him.
He's scoring scissor kicks against freaking Barcelona.
He's dancing salsa choque with Juan Cuadrado. Oh man, that was fun to watch. I love that one. That was great.
Dude, he is such a baller.
Yeah.
It's great, man.
But for the U.S. attack, I would say that in the last few years now that we've got to see this kind of new wave, kind of after Josie Altidore really took a step back.
Not by his choice, though.
No, I mean, not by his
Well, you can't say healthy.
Injury, all that fun stuff. But there has been an issue with who's the number 9, and it's been kind of lifted onto Josh Sargent's shoulders right now. Obviously,
I don't think he's that number 9. But.
Well, he's been kind of that next guy coming up. Like I saw him in that, either 2017 U17 World Cup where he scored all of the goals, and the U.S. went on a bit of a run as they do sometimes in those younger tournaments into the knockout rounds. Didn't get to the semis or anything like that, but he was scoring goals, and we're not really seeing that translate to this upper level yet, which is unfortunate because dude's a baller. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
AK Gaming. For Euros, it's France, and I don't have to say anything else. There's no other teams.
Well, we don't want to get too much into Euros. Well, guys, next week's episode, that's going to be big Euro. Obviously, for us here, we're kind of invested in it. Daniel Gazdag in the Euro, so we'll definitely have a yes, we'll definitely have a big like preview and all that stuff. We'll get to Copa America in just 1 second. But the second time we see a stretcher for
that's what I'm saying. Like, what's going on there?
Trust me, I've already had Atlanta fans going as Philly out there, and I'm like, salty.
Zach, it's your worst fears, though. It's your worst fears. They're trying to get to those penalties, man.
I can't do it, man. I can't.
Does anyone know? I probably should know this, but do you know if in Nations it goes right to penalties or if it does, extra time?
I hope to God it goes to extra time first.
Yeah, I can't stand penalties after 90 minutes because I'm like, but there still could be more time to score.
Right. Definitely. Hey, Tom represent Ecuador. Man, they put a spanking on us, man. That's for sure. So obviously right now we have U.S. and Honduras. Tonight is another good one. As you have Mexico and Costa Rica, always pretty entertaining matches, if I must say so myself. And, of course, we got a little MLS in there with Tata Martin. I'm sure Costa Rica's going to put out some MLSers there as well. But, yes, that should be guys, Mexico is going to take care of that, right?
Costa Rica is dealing with some injuries. If I believe I saw right that Taylor Navas isn't with them right now.
Really?
I swear I saw that he was out for the game. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But if he is, then it's going to be tough because he's special. So
no, absolutely, man. He's probably the best goalie in CONCACAF, so for sure, man. It's definitely a big loss for them. Yeah. And then obviously today we had some CONMEBOL action. Earlier today we talked about it. Bolivia put the spanking on Jose Brujos Venezuela 3-1. Now a little context: Bolivia usually is like the carpet of CONMEBOL. They usually don't ever get out of last place. I don't know what to put it as. Like the Kings, or Cincinnati, FC Cincinnati, I guess is the perfect example. They're usually like the doormat, so that's a bad result for Venezuela. Uruguay drew against Paraguay. We had right now it's currently being played. The second half just begun. Argentina is tied against Chile 1-1, and I think Tom just let us know that Messi scored on a PK. And then of course tonight, Colombia is going up against Peru. Colombia's in a tough spot. After the last World Cup qualifier break, they let go Carlos Queiroz, who only got 4 points in the beginning of the World Cup qualifier, so that was means of letting go. And now we have Ronaldo Rueda, who was a manager for Colombia back in the day, and he's back now, and he's going to try to get Colombia back into the World Cup qualifiers. And we've talked about it a little bit before, but it is a little tough to get excited for World Cup qualifiers as a Colombian American myself, with what's going on in our country. And, of course, our government kind of, throwing aside what's been going on in our country and trying to prioritize soccer, which is, kind of not the thing to do when, you have citizens actually dying on the streets here. But honestly, I just wanted to say as a Colombian American, I feel like tonight, we probably shouldn't be playing in this tournament, to be honest with you guys. But the fact of the matter is we can't control it. we're going to play. And how many times in sports do we see sports actually kind of bringing people together and just bringing a smile on someone's face? So for tonight, guys, for me personally, I'm just going to enjoy it. Not going to expect too much. It's just good to see something positive with Colombia in general. So that's kind of just my thoughts on it. But it gets a Peru side who Ruud Diaz is probably going to start, and they're in a bad spot as well. They only have 1 point, so they're kind of.
I was going to say, to be the optimist, yeah, I mean, at least on the field side of things, Colombia has got more points than Peru. So, and a win for Colombia gets them right up there around Uruguay, around Paraguay. So,
and no James as well. That's another key one.
That's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to try to because obviously he had that nagging injury throughout the Prem, that calf injury, so he's going to try to get back to shape ready for Everton's new season in Colombia when they need him again. But the problem with Colombia right now, and that's why I envy the United States, is the United States is kind of in a better situation when it comes to their youth.
Oh wow, there's a look, Brendan's coming in. We got a triple sub. Brendan, Reggie Cannon, and Jordan Sibachu, it looks like.
He is huge.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He is. Sibachu is a large man.
Very large. Cannon on for Robinson, so that means that
Dest is
going
over.
Oh, I'm excited. Let's go, Brendan.
Sibachu is kind of a similar.
So who's Brendan coming in for?
Reina, Gio. Sargent's out.
Gio's got some bruises, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to feel this one tomorrow morning for sure. Absolutely. Oh, my God. Medford Messi and Mark McKenzie are in the ball game here, ladies and gentlemen.
Why is Sibachu's last name Pifak and not
that's, I believe, his mother's maiden name.
Oh, that's cool.
There was a story. I remember reading about it, actually.
Jackson Yule's not your boy, right, Tim?
I don't like Jackson Yule. I mean, he's not a bad player. He's really not.
Where's he at?
He plays in San Jose.
Okay.
Yeah, and
it's Dallas at one point, right?
It's really tough for me as a fan of the national team to say that a player from San Jose in central midfield should make it to this level because of the style of marking that they have. I mean, if he can cover
wait, Tim, was there an end point to that? I was trying to connect the dots, and
I still am. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen enough of it maybe in San Jose, but I feel like he just runs around and like it doesn't look like he commands the midfield from that deeper position the way that Tyler Adams would do it. So that's it for me. I know Adams is hurt, and that's why Yule's getting the start here. But yeah.
Absolutely here. Absolutely.
Do they get 5 subs or 3 subs?
That's a great question. I don't know.
I also tried to look at the I tried to look at the PK thing and I couldn't find anything. So,
I mean, Nations League is brand new and it's CONCACAF, so who knows what's going to go on with this?
I hope to Jesus it does not.
Oh, are they playing in Chile? Okay. Wow, that definitely is an advantage for sure. It's like when right now U.S. and Honduras playing
Denver,
yeah, man. And the US that's no joke, guys. By the way, that is no joke. The high elevation. Oh my God.
And the U.S. had a good warm-up game against Switzerland.
Yeah, they did. They played well.
Why is the game pay-per-view?
One goal was so unfortunate.
AK Gaming, all the CONMEBOL games, all the South American World Cup qualifier games, Fubo now carries them all. So they're in charge of covering the whole qualifiers for South America. So I mean, if you want to try get that free trial for this month, definitely do it up. But for the time being, that's going to be on Fubo TV, and I'm sure Alexis and Christian are be doing stuff for that as well. So that should be a lot of freaking fun. The River Santa. Yes, this was honestly the last month has been an ugly scene in Colombia, but this was the worst. Obviously, soccer gets noticed worldwide as well, and I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was Libertadores, I believe. Santa Fe and River Plate, 2 big clubs in South America. Fans were throwing tear gas. Players literally running off the field, can't even see anything. It was, in my honest opinion, it should have gotten more of a spotlight, but it was uglier than River and Boca in the Libertadores finals in 2018. It was that bad. But Tom, thank you seriously for bringing that up, man. That was rough. Getting my Revs jersey, nice, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. YT Man, a big Boston fan, and we've been able to. You know what? If you're a Boston fan, it's fine. You know you got a soccer team as well. I'm looking at him now; he's getting a kit. That's what we like to hear on Dupe.
Who are you getting on the back of the shirt? That's the question.
That is the
At
question.
this point, I would consider Carlos
Why
here.
would you not bring that down?
Yeah,
That's
Brendan,
gonna be me tonight.
Brendan with the brain fart right there.
Brendan. And if you're gonna,
I think he was trying to.
He was trying to put it in the path to see but you, but he
He didn't get the push on it that he wanted to.
no.
Now I'm interested. I love it. I love it. AK Gaming 110%. Stay tuned for the day. Day we'll be recording. We'll probably decide that after the weekend. But of course, we're gonna be talking Union. We'll definitely be talking some of these matches. We'll also be talking Euros. We'll be highlighting the Euros a lot. Of course, our Gazdag will be in that as well. And anything Union as well. So definitely we'll be back next week. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for another episode of Duke by the River. The U.S. match is about to end as well. 0-0 still. 0-0. I'm sorry. We don't say 0-0 in soccer. 0-0 in this match here. It should end in an exciting way here. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget, every week when we do by the River, the video portions, what we're watching right now, will be on El Parcero Phillies YouTube channel. So make sure you like this and subscribe as well. And of course, if you do miss it, there's no problem. If you want to listen to it as well, there's no problem for that as well. Listen to it wherever you stream podcasts, Apple, Google, and Spotify. Duke by the River. We are your Philly Sports Network Union podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Zach Labasso, that is Tim Lovinguth, and that is Justin, a.k.a. Aurelian Colan Hype Man, Freiburg, and I'm El Parcero Philly, and we're telling you guys to Dupe on. We'll talk to you guys next week as Zach's about to lose it.